A comment request from Andrew Ziner asked, can we talk about electrocution? Well, Andrew, we're going to do that in this video today, so stay tuned, and we're going to learn about how electricity electrocutes you on another video on electronic science. So today here on Electric Science, we're going to be talking about the pain of electricity. Now, there's different types of electricity, as we've gone over before on the channel. There's AC and DC. Now, unfortunately, I don't have any safe way to test AC because I don't have an auto transformer quite yet, so I can't limit the voltage of AC. And as we know, the power that comes out of the outlet is 120 volts of AC. And AC is typically a lot more painful and dangerous than DC. If I were to touch that, I would probably die or get very hurt. So we're definitely not going to be doing too much with AC today. But we do have a Tesla coil here, which we'll talk about in a different video that I had built. I didn't really want to do Tesla coils just yet, but we're going to be using it, but I'll talk more about Tesla coils in a different video for the AC part of it. And then the DC, we're just going to be using my lab bench power supply over here. We could set from 0 to 32 volts and 0 to 10 amps of power with the pain of electricity. So without further ado, let's get started. So we're going to push the Tesla coil aside for a minute, and we're going to plug in our DC power supply, wherever I can find its wire here, and plug that in to the outlet. Now if we turn her on, you can see we're set to 1.5 volts from a few videos ago when we were doing lights, and we can see that if I were to touch this, pretty harmless voltage, only 1.5 volts. I mean, I guess you could say if you could touch a battery, you could touch this. This is no different than a battery. But the thing is, you will feel the pain on your tongue. So just say if you were to put these 2 alligator leads on your tongue. Now this is dangerous because if the voltage is high enough, you can get very hurt. And if the voltage is really high, you could definitely die because, voltages are lethal in your tongue, some of them. So when I put this on my tongue, I definitely do feel a teeny bit of a tingle there. Not like an electric shock per se, but I definitely feel a tingle. But it's not that bad. And I don't know if you guys can tell, but I do not have a multimeter in my setup yet, so this is basically how I test voltages. Not a good idea, and I will be buying a multimeter very soon. Now, usually the human tongue can only go about to 9 volts before it can, cause damage to the tongue or hurt you really bad, or you just can't go over 9 volts typically. So if we set this to, we're going down. If we just say to set this to 4 volts, you can see I touch it anywhere on my body basically, and I won't feel it through my skin because the skin is much higher resistance than the tongue. The tongue is very low resistance, so therefore the flow of electrons can flow much more easily through your tongue, or even when your hands are wet or soapy, that makes them a lot more lower resistance. And if you were to touch electricity with wet or soapy hands, it's more easier to get a shock versus with just dry plain hands. But still, if we touch this on our tongue, it's definitely more of a, shock, more of a tingle. It hurts more, but it's still not bad. I'm not obviously dying here, and it's 4 volts across my tongue, and I could short it, and there's little tiny sparks kind of being put out by my saliva. I can't see it. Here, I'll get it really close here. Maybe you can see that. But anyways, yeah. I mean, it definitely hurts. And I wouldn't leave it on my tongue for very long, but I've, licked 9 volts before, so I've definitely felt worse. And we can keep going up here. Let's go to like 6.7 volts. Still nothing. Now it's starting to hurt. I can't leave it for very long on my tongue like that. It really starts to hurt, and then when I take it off, my tongue definitely still feels the pain. And just so that, you guys are satisfied, we'll go up to the 9 volts, typically what the tongue cannot take any more of, and I cannot do this for very long. You see, oof, it almost makes my tongue feel like it stiffens up and hardens almost. It really hurts. Yeah, I got it on my lip that time and I felt. So I cannot do this for very long. But still, if I touch it, still nothing. Let's go up to the max our power supply can go. Now I cannot put this on my tongue. If I can barely handle 9 volts, I cannot handle 32 volts. So here, if we go up to about 32 volts, touch it, nothing. Well, actually, I feel it a little bit on my cheek. It's scaring me more, actually. but very, very much less than the 9 volts on my tongue, I would definitely say. Fingers, nothing, you know, wrist, nothing when I'm touching both ends there. So really nothing, right? But still, you know, I wouldn't even short this without a wire because I could definitely destroy my alligator clips here. But this, you know, 32 volts and 10 amps will definitely put off a big spark. You want to be careful when you short something like this. And if you use thinner wire, the more of a spark show, yeah, like that, the more of a spark show you will definitely get with something like this. That's basically enough with the power supply. So DC, this was just regular old DC. I'm going to turn this down because half the time I forget that I have it at high voltages, and I'll plug in my circuit and poof. So now we're going to head on over to the Tesla coil. Now with these things, these radiate energy into the atmosphere, and these can be pretty dangerous, but the thing with these is while they output AC current, it is very high frequency voltages. Therefore, you can touch it and you really won't feel anything. If you touch it with your skin, you will definitely, you know, feel skin burn because arcs are very hot, electrical arcs, but you won't feel electric pain. Or if you were to touch it with a wire, you won't feel anything. We're going to demonstrate that here in a minute, but I do want to grab one other thing that is not located in my electrical room so that we can do another trick. So we will be right back. All right, we're back. So with Tesla coils, as I said, I might briefly mention this earlier, that they radiate energy into the atmosphere. So these things can be pretty harmful to other electronics. So fair warning right now, my camera is, you know, has a microphone, has all the electronics in it, so it could mess around with the quality of the video while I'm running this and the audio. It shouldn't be that bad. This is a lower side power of a Tesla coil, but still that could happen. And I cannot run this for very long because it messes with other electronics, as I said, including a $4,000 electric oven that I have upstairs that it really makes that thing crap out a lot. So I cannot run this for very long, or else I will damage the circuits, you know, up and around. And you were thinking, well, that's all the way upstairs. I'm in my basement right now. But it actually just has something to do with messing with the wire. I don't know. I'm not that big of an expert. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to unplug our little decoration here so we can turn off this breaker while we plug this into the 120 volts of AC. Hopefully the oven doesn't beep too much. If it does, I'm probably going to cut this part of the video out. So here we go. I'm going to turn it on. Now nothing's going to happen yet because I don't actually have the switch on the Tesla coil. But make sure you pay attention right here. Hopefully it'll show up. You can see that there's this tiny arc that comes out. This is made up of a couple thousand volts here. And here's a thin piece of copper wire here. No sorcery here, no nothing, right? If I touch it, I don't feel anything. Nothing. If I touch it with my skin, I feel it. Let's make it stop shaking there. I don't know if you guys can really see that. I certainly feel it, but it's not an electric shock. It just burns my skin. And what these things can really do is, like I said, they radiate energy into the atmosphere. You can turn on fluorescent or neon lights wirelessly, like this. So at high frequencies, you don't feel the electric pain. You only feel it up to a certain frequency before nothing. And I'm sucking in all the energy. That's why the light turns off. And like I said, the wire, nothing. So that was a demonstration of what happens at high frequencies. Sorry I had to do that really quickly, but like I said, it really screws up some of the things, some electronics. I've broken many things before. Let me check. All right, my camera's still recording. So yeah, definitely. And the arc is high, you know, it's made up of a couple thousand volts there, but you know, and it radiates energy in the atmosphere, but you don't feel it, which is pretty amazing. And say, you know, this is AC, so AC at high, you know, frequencies, you won't feel it. But really anything above around between 1 and 3 volts of AC, you can't really take on your tongue. I've researched a lot of this. And it depends on how dry your skin is with AC, but usually you can't go over 10, 15, 20 volts, things like that before it'll really get, you know, hurt. I mean, 120 volts would really be pretty damaging. So that was the pain of electrocution. Thank you for the comment, Andrew Ziner. And that's pretty much it here on Electric Science. I want to thank everybody for watching. Leave a thumbs up on the video. Make sure you click that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so that you don't miss an upload. Share this video so that it gets spread around, and I will see you guys next time. And always make sure to comment like Andrew did, and I will make sure to explain it. Bye, everybody!